The Dragon Emperor saw his human Maid sleeping on the street. What he did next shocked everyone. The Dragon Emperor, Varakthir, soared above the capital in his half-shifted form, wings outstretched, scales glinting in the twilight. His eyes, golden and sharp, scanned the streets not with the pride of a ruler, but with restlessness. It was on the silent flight, cloaked and unannounced, that he passed a narrow side alley in the lower district and abruptly halted midair. There, huddled under a broken awning, a young woman slept on the cold stone. A threadbare blanket covered her legs. Her arms were wrapped around her middle as if to hold herself together. He landed softly nearby, his clawed feet quiet on the cobblestones. The woman stirred, her eyes open, tired, red, and shocked. "Why, Your Majesty," she gasped, scrambling up to bow. Her knees trembled from the cold. One of her shoes was missing. She looked like she hadn't eaten properly in days. "Lyra," the Emperor said, his voice low, "why are you here?" She shook her head, clutching the blanket. I didn't want to be seen in the palace anymore. The other servants said I didn't belong, that I was nothing but a human mongrel from the slums. And then my quarters were emptied. I thought it was a mistake. I didn't want to cause trouble. You were dismissed? No, not formally, but no one looked for me. So I left. Varakthir's golden eyes narrowed. Who moved you from your quarters? I don't know. I was told the room had been reassigned. No one ever called me back to work. She lowered her head. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't mean to make you look bad. The Emperor's tail flicked once, a subtle sign of fury. You served in the royal wing for 3 years, he said slowly. Yes. You brought me tea, pressed my robes, polished my battle armor. You remembered every little instruction I ever gave. You never once asked for favor. She blinked, trying not to cry. And you, my personal maid, were cast out without anyone noticing. Varakthir's chest rose. His shadow stretched over her like a rising storm. He turned away and roared. The roar shook windows across the capital. Guards appeared instantly, armed and alarmed. Send a summons to the royal attendants. The Emperor thundered. Now! Within the hour, the palace gates opened, and a royal convoy of 12 dragons and a gilded chariot rolled into the alley. Citizens gathered, whispering. Was there a criminal to be arrested? But no chains were drawn. Instead, the Dragon Emperor stepped down, approached Lyra, and held out his hand. Come with me. She stared. And me? He did not repeat himself. She took his hand. Gasps rippled through the crowd. A human? Touched by the Emperor? She was helped into the golden chariot. Not like a servant, but like a guest. The royal court assembled that night in the throne hall, murmuring anxiously. Something strange was afoot. The nobles straightened their collars. The head servants looked pale. And then the Emperor strode in, followed by Lyra, dressed now in a silver robe, her hair brushed and braided, barefoot but proud. Varakthir's voice rang out. 3 years this woman served me without fail. She was humble, loyal, invisible to all of you. No one dared move. She was thrown out by cowards too weak to own their cruelty. So I have made a decision. He turned to her. Kneel. Lyra hesitated. She knelt. The Emperor drew a ceremonial claw pendant from his neck, a symbol of ancient draconic honor. He placed it around hers. From today onward, he declared, this woman is no longer a maid. The nobles gasped. She is Lady Lyra of the Inner Flame, granted honorary title for service and spirit. She will live in the Flame Court, with full privileges and protection. Let no hand or tongue insult her again, lest they face my wrath. The hall erupted, some in protest, many in awe, but none dared defy him. Later, in her new chamber, lavish, warm, and full of gold light. Lyra sat on the edge of bed, still trembling. The Emperor stood at her balcony, wings folded behind him. "Why?" she whispered. "I'm just a servant." "You were never just anything," he said without turning. "But I have no lineage, no dragon blood, no claim." Varactor finally turned to face her. "You are not here because of blood. You are here because you saw me, truly saw me. You brought tea without speaking when you knew I was weary. You left wildflowers on my armor on the day of my mother's death. You never asked for thanks. And that makes you nobler than any duke in this court." She blinked, tears welling. "Then why didn't you say something before?" He gave a small, almost sad smile. "Because I was a coward too, hiding behind protocol, watching from a distance. Tonight, I saw you sleeping alone in the cold, and I realized I failed the only loyal soul I had." Lyra stood, and for the first time, she dared approach him. He didn't move. She placed a hand on his clawed fingers. "I forgive you," she said gently. Something in the Emperor's breath caught. Then quietly, he bowed his head, only to her. In the months that followed, the court changed. Lyra became an icon of quiet strength. She sat beside the Emperor during councils, not as a consort, not yet, but as an equal voice when compassion was needed. The nobles whispered. Some were outraged, others inspired. And Varactor? He ruled with fire, but his flame now had warmth. He often said, "It was not war or dragons that softened my heart. It was a human maid who never asked to be seen, but always saw me." And every winter night, when the halls grew cold, Lyra never slept on the street again. She slept in firelit chambers, in warmth, in honor, and, eventually, in love.